What's up, y'all? It's Ryan from RNA Music. So, here's a little video I thought I would make for you guys. It's a little known fact that I used to make things out of leather. Yeah, stuff like this and this. Guitar straps, wristbands, stuff like that. You have to pardon my voice. I had some sinus allergy stuff going on this week, and I actually lost my voice pretty much one day just from, throat issues. So my voice isn't quite back to normal. But so yeah, I haven't done that in a long time, making leather guitar straps and wristbands and such, because it's just real labor intensive to do that kind of stuff. It just takes a lot of time because I'm doing it all by hand. I mean, I'm talking about getting a big chunk of leather and like cutting it with skizzers. Not even leather shears. I don't have leather shears. I've just got these like things that EMTs use to cut stuff off of people when they've been in car wrecks and things. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, like from just a huge chunk of leather, cutting out straps and everything. I mean, completely by hand, and it's very time consuming to do. It takes a lot of work. The material isn't necessarily super expensive, the materials, but just the labor involved to make a custom guitar strap, especially if you got any hardware or carving in it. I've done some carved ones, and that takes a lot of time. So but I need another guitar strap for myself. I've been wanting to make another one just like the one I showed you, and I thought I would make one. And still got all the tools and materials. I've had the leather, just haven't got around to making it. So I'll video a little bit with the progress of me making this guitar strap, and check it out. It's not something I do full time, or as a business, or even to sell. It's just for myself. If I want wristbands or things. I mean, I've sold some stuff before, but it's just hugely time consuming to do, and I don't really have time to do it full time. So yeah, so check it out. Hope you enjoy it. I'm not trying to sell anything, so don't call me and ask for a wristband or something. And there's a ton of people out there who make these things, and I've met some really great leather crafters online and talked to them, picked their brains. And by no means is the way I'm doing this like the perfect way of doing it or the only way of doing it. It's just the way that I'm doing it. So it's worked for me before. I'm going to keep it up. Check it out. So here's my current piece of, I've already got the leather, cut out basically. Cut it to size, punch the holes on the end. I've got, I'm going to put in some rivets and stuff in this. So I've already got my spots marked in the leather that I'm going to punch the holes out to put some hardware on. And I've already got the strap extenders marked. I've got to punch those out. I've already got that, whoops. I've already got the extension part of the strap cut and edges done. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and punch out the holes. No. I'm going to go ahead and die the back of it. the back side. The back side's going to be black. Sorry, the back side's going to be red, kind of like this one. See, it's a nice red color on one side. The actual front is the black. And so I'm going to make the other one the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dye the back, and I'm going to dye the front before I punch out the holes for the hardware, because if there's holes in it, like right there, sometimes when you put the dye on the front, it'll bleed through the back. I don't really want that to happen, so I'm just going to go ahead and dye the back. Alright, so normally it's a good idea to use gloves on your hands when dyeing the leather, but all of mine apparently are old, and so as I try to put them on, they're just falling apart. But so I'm not going to use them, because I'm starting off with a water-based dye here, and so I mean it'll come off, but got a little cotton dauber. And honestly, I need a much bigger thing to apply this with than that, but this is all I got. So I'm making do with what I have. With this dye, a little can go a long ways, so. And since I'm doing the front black, I'm doing the back first. If I happen to bleed a little bit over onto the front, I'm not too worried about it, because the black will definitely cover up this red. Alright, so I'm going to continue on with this. Check on you in a little bit. Alrighty. So there's one coat of the red dye on the back side of my guitar strap. So here's the front. I'm gonna let this dry for a bit. It doesn't take too long really, but I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna work on the front side with some black, which will be a little bit more. I have to be a little more careful with. I happen to have some water-based dye, which I like working with because it's easy to clean up for the back side. But the black that I have for the front is an oil-based dye, and it's a little bit hard to clean. It's just what I happen to have in my box of colors, and so that's what I'm going to use. Alright, check back with you later. Alright, here comes the fun part. The black dye on the fronts. This is generally where I have to be a little bit more careful, because this is oil-based dye. See? Don't have my gloves. I need my gloves. Here we go. The oil-based dye is pretty strong stuff, so. It goes a really long ways too. You can see I'm still on that first dip of this little swab. To get a nice even coating with these dark colors, I'm sure I'll have to come back over it a second time. Very strong. You want to have some good ventilation when you're working with the oil-based dye though too. Now I've gotten this other side dyed black. Got a couple of coats, at least 2 coats on it to kind of even it out, make sure it's all equally black. Next step is I'm going to put a finish on the black side to basically seal in the dye and protect it. You can use a gloss finish or a satin finish. I think on my first strap that I did, this is basically a copy of the first one I did, or well, the second or third strap I did. That I'm gonna have 2 identical straps, but the first one I think I used a gloss, and after that I started using satin finishes, and so I believe I'm going to do this one in a satin. We'll see how that turns out. So, same thing, I'm just applying the satin finish with a little dauber here. So apply it, wait for it to dry. Probably put a couple of coats of this satin on here, just to be safe. Check with you. We're going with our second coat of satin sheen. Depending on how much work I get done on this tomorrow, maybe I'll get finished with this. Maybe not. It usually takes sometimes up to a day or 2 to completely finish a strap like this. Well, more, because this one I already had cut out, and you know, a lot of the work was already done before I got started with the dyeing and finishing stuff. So actually, it takes quite a bit of time and work to complete a strap like this. I started on this probably a year ago and then put it away, and I just got busy. But I need another guitar strap. You never have too many guitar straps. And so, time to get this one done. Hey. Alright. So now it's time to kind of smooth out the back side. This side of the leather, hopefully you can see it, is a little bit textured. It's the inside. So I'm going to smooth this out with some gum tragacanth. This stuff. Basically you apply it, and basically it smooths everything out. Smooths down all the rough spots on this side of the leather. It also works to seal it in. So this side of the strap, the dye won't bleed through onto your clothes or anything like that. So it's doing 2 things. It's smoothing out the leather, and it's also sealing it. Although I will go over it with the sealer too, just to be extra safe. What's up, y'all? Alright. Now I'm down to punching holes in to the strap for to mount the hardware. But I gotta punch out a hole for every place that I'm gonna put hardware on, so that's what we're doing right now. Normally I use wood underneath the strap for when I'm punching the holes, but I don't have any at the moment. So I'm gonna try some cardboard, see how that works. Whoop. Works pretty good. Just can't go too far. Yeah. So, here we go. As I said, this part is quite time consuming because once I punch out all the holes, I still have to hand hammer in all the rivets and eyelets and such. So yeah, it's a long tedious process. So, I'm going to get to hammering. Talk to you soon. Well, that kind of stinks. My mallet is is all jacked up. That's going to create a problem. I kind of need this to stay on. What's up, y'all? It's the next day. So I took a break after about 4 hours. 4 hours last night of working on this stuff. You're having to let it dry and recoat it and everything. Right now, I've already got my my holes punched for my eyelets that I'm going to put into it, and now I'm punching all the little bitty holes for the little rivets that are going to go button caps, whatever they're called. Yeah, double cap rivets. So I'm punching little holes for all the rivets that are going to go into it. Yeah. All right. I didn't video it, but I just finished punching out the holes for the strap adjustment to go through. And if I was smart, I would have actually, here's the strap adjustment piece of leather. I would have dyed it and finished it on each side at the same time I was doing this, just to save myself some time. But I didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the main part of the strap and then I'm going to finish the adjustment part. So now it's time to set these eyelets. Just put them in the holes that I've already punched. And then I have a little anvil that goes on here. This is the fun part. Ooh, that one set very nicely. As I said before, this is just all very time consuming. That's the main thing about this. Handcrafted guitar straps aren't really expensive because of the materials necessarily, but just because of all the labor that has to go into making it. But if you have the patience and you're halfway crafty and you like doing things yourself and you have the time to do it, you can make a what would normally cost you maybe several $100s to buy. You could make it yourself. That's kind of what I'm doing. That's how I got started with this leather stuff. Was several years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. I wanted to get some wristbands and guitar straps, and was checking them out online, and they're really nice stuff, like American leather, thick, not made on a machine in China. Stuff is expensive. I didn't really have the money to spend on that kind of stuff. But I like trying new things, and there was a leather supply store where I lived, at Tandy Leather in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they were very helpful, and to help me get started, I had a good friend that I worked with at my job at the time, Mike Hastings, who was quite the leather craftsman artist, carving and drawing art into leather, which is a whole different thing than what I'm doing right now. And he taught me a thing or two, and I took it from there and made some of my own stuff. So that's what I'm doing today. Let us continue getting hammered. Hammering things. You know what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, Roy. Alright, so I've got all of the little eyelets set now in this lovely rocking guitar strap. But now I got to come in between and put in these little rivets. So it'll look like this. So I've got to set each one of those little holes with a rivet, which is always fun. The carving, if you're actually carving into the leather a design, that's also extremely tedious as well. I mean, like here's a wristband. Hopefully you can see it. That I actually carved and hammered a design into. That's extremely tedious as well. So there's really nothing fast about leatherwork, handmade leatherwork on good quality leather. So let's give this first one a shot. See what happens. That's pretty good. You don't want these popping off. Yeah, that went well. Now just 1, 2, 3, 4. 24 more to go. All right. So all the eyelets and rivets have been set. So that is all good. Now, I just need to go back and finish the edges of the strap and smooth it out so they're nice and smooth on the edges. And here's how you do that. We take some of this gum tragacanth and put it on the edges. You can use a little dauber, or you can just use your finger. Doesn't really matter. Again, another time-consuming thing. And I got this little slicker tool that I'm going to use. Just apply friction to the edge where we put on the gum tragacanth. And this basically smooths it out, makes it nice and round and smooth on the edge. Elbow grease creates a nice smooth edge to the strap. It's got to go all the way around the strap doing this. Super fun. So there you go. Good times. So this will take me a little bit of time to get this done. Once I've finished with the edges, I will probably get started on the adjustment strap. And as soon as I get the adjustment strap done, this baby will be done. See you then. So I got the strap, the main strap, all kind of done. Now I got to finish the adjustment strap. So I'm gonna go ahead and dye the back side of it. Step one. I just dropped some dye on my arm. Looks like I'm bleeding, but I'm not. Alright, so that's the back side. I'm going to let that dry. Then we're going to do the front. Alrighty, time to lay down the blackness. Okay, we got the adjustment strap dyed. Now I'm just going to apply the satin finish sealant to the black side. The dark side. The dark side of the Force is calling. Alright, just gotta let that dry. And then we'll move on to smoothing out the back. So now we're on to smoothing out the back side. This is the rough side of the leather, not the hide side. So sometimes it can be smooth in places, but also rough in other places. And this also helps seal in the dye a little bit, but I usually come back over this again anyways one more time with a sealer, a finish, just to make sure, because I don't want any bleed out of the dye onto, you know, a t-shirt or whatever. But yep, getting close. As you can probably tell, like I said, this takes a while to make one of these things. I think on a forum, I'm on the Rob Chapman forum, and I was talking about to those guys on there. It's a great forum, go check it out. Official Rob Chapman. RobChapman.tv. No, Rob. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, and I think I told somebody yeah, it takes about 2 hours to make one of these. Yeah, I was wrong. It's not 2 hours. It's more like, oh man, I don't know, 8 hours. Well, you gotta wait for stuff to dry, you know, and then, you know, cutting the leather pieces out of the rough, huge piece of leather. You know, so you gotta measure, and draw, and then cut, and then edge, and then, you know, you have the whole dyeing and smoothing, and so actually it takes quite a bit. I'm not sure how many hours completely total, but I know I spent about 4 yesterday on this, and that wasn't even starting on this project from scratch. That was already having 2 pieces cut out, and so you're probably looking, man, a minimum of 6 hours sometimes. Well, for me, I don't do this every day. I'm sure as if I did it all the time, I would get faster and faster. But for me, it's really more like a 6-hour process. And that's for, you know, of course, there's a lot of hardware that went into this one. And if I was carving, or tooling, as it's called, a design into it, oh man, that can take forever. Alright. Looks like we're all done. I put one more coat of sealant on this black side, and then we should be all done. Alright, so there's the last coat of the finish. Let that dry, and we'll put this puppy together. Yeah. Howdy. Alright. What's cracking? We're about to finish up this leather strap. Basically, I got done finishing the adjustment strap part here, and I finished the main body of the strap. Whoa! Nice red on the other side. So the only thing left is to connect this to this. So I'll have to tweak it a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it threaded in here. And I'll probably have to adjust it. It's probably going to be too long at the moment. And here we go. Let's do this. A couple different ways you can thread this in here to adjust it. The leather's a little stiff because it's fresh. This is about a 6-7 ounce top grain leather. So it's very thick leather, very heavy duty. I mean, like saddle leather. So it's a little stiff. Now it breaks in over time and gets a little more flexible as you go. And a lot of times I'll take them and see, this is pretty solid. But there we go. There you have it. This is the new one. Where's my old one? This is the one that I made probably in 2007-ish. 2006, 2007. I've had it for a while. It's pretty flexible, pretty comfortable. And here's the new one that I just made. It's not exactly... It's pretty close. It's a little bit shorter, you can see. See if they're about the same length. That's pretty close. So yeah. So I made this one around 2007-ish, I guess. Mostly because I didn't want to pay $400 for one from Red Monkey Designs. Those were the guys who made Zakk Wylde's custom guitar straps out in Hollywood. And here's my second one. Yeah, there you go. So, check it out. Let's put it on the guitar. Yeah, so there you go. Custom leather guitar strap. Made it myself. I'm a big fan of the do-it-yourselfer kind of stuff. It's pretty rocking. I like it. So thanks for checking it out. Keep rocking. Keep the music alive as well. So here's a closer look. The strap on the right is the one that I made 5 years ago probably. On the right side, it's got the strap locks. One on the left is the strap that I just made. Started it about a year ago. Spent a day working on it, and then had to put it away. And about 2 days ago decided, you know what? I need to finish this guitar strap. Because when you have too many guitars, you can never have too many guitar straps. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes process of watching me make a leather guitar strap from scratch. Handmade, yo. In Texas by me. Thanks for checking it out. Talk to you soon.